Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Jenofeve Designs. In today's video, we're going to make the covers for the mini album mashup album 2, the templates that I just released. We're going to make the covers for the 2-page binding. This album has a 2 and a 4, and we're going to add the binding strip in it. And you can make your covers any way you want. This is just the way I like to make them. And I just wanted to come back and start the intro again because I struggled through videoing this. My batteries were giving me fits, and it's taken me a minute to get back into things. And I'm sure it'll go easier and easier and easier as I make videos, because it's been a few months since I've made videos. So I'm just trying to get right back into the swing of things and hanging out with you guys, and I'm super excited about it. I just am lost a little bit. So if you bear with me through this video, I would so very much appreciate it. So do let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let me know if you enjoyed it at all. I would appreciate it. Okay, now on to the video. Hey guys, my name is Jennifer and I am Jenofeve Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to make the covers for the new set of templates that I've created. This is the mini album mashup album number 2, and there are 2 sizes of album covers in this set of templates, and they're both the same height and the same width. They're just a different thickness, right? So there is a 2 fin and a 4 fin. So I'm actually going to show you how to make both of these in the same video. That's why I haven't, that's not why. We haven't started a project yet, but you have to have covers, right? So I just figured I would go ahead and make the covers. I'm going to show you how to make the 2 fin covers completely, but I'm also going to show you that the 4 fin works the exact same way. So this is just one way to make an album cover, and this is my favorite way to make an album cover. So I have just introduced to these templates, and I will have that video linked up here if you want to check it out. It shows you the flip through the prototypes, and then it goes through what's all included in the set of templates if you would like to see. There's also in the description box, there's also links to the templates and all of that stuff. So the links to everything will be down in the description box and the first pinned comment, so you will be able to find the information easily. So you can take the method that I'm getting ready to show you and use it in any type of album that you ever make. This isn't just for this type of album, right? That you can use this way of making an album cover to make any album that you want. But I was just going to show you step by step, just so that it's easy and it's in a playlist, and it's easy for you guys to find, especially if you're new to making mini album covers. There is so many ways to make covers, and I've made so many different types of covers, but this is my favorite way, and so I'm going to show you. So let me start by taking out the templates that we need out of the workbook. This is the cover page, so this is the template for the cover, so we're going to need that one. And then on page 2, we're going to go ahead and trace. I'm going to go ahead and show you both sizes, but I'm only really going to make fully one. But there is a spine for 4-page and a spine for 2-page. We're going to make the 2-page fully, and then I'm going to show you what the 4-page works the same way as well. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I feel like I'm rambling. Okay, so I have already traced 2 covers and the spine for the 2-page. Right, they're already traced. This is medium weight chipboard. It's the chipboard I always use. I've got it linked in my Amazon, and for this video I'll probably have it linked separately because I don't have an Amazon list yet for the project we're getting ready to start, but it will be included in that link as well. But this is, I think, 30-point medium weight chipboard. It's my favorite. It's nice and solid and consistent, and it's good stuff. So I've already traced the covers and the spine for that, but I was going to show you just how easy it is to trace and cut out from this chipboard. So I'm just going to take, this also has the mat on top of the spine piece. Ooh, I didn't de-stick that tape very well. if you're new, this is my workbook, part of my workbook, and sometimes I don't de-stick my tape very good, so it'll tear up what's underneath, but that's just me getting in a hurry. So, but there is a video on how to make the workbook. If you all want to check that out, I'll link that up in the corner as well. So I'm just going to lay this on here and trace it out with my pencil. So the whole point of having templates is so that you don't have to measure, right? So no measuring is needed when you are using my templates. So if you print everything prints out, if you print everything the same, then everything works together, and you just trace templates. You cut out the templates, you trace the templates, or you print the templates out and assemble them. It's just easy peasy. So this is a cutting mat. This is a score pile cutting mat. And a ruler. This one is by Creative Grids, and I'm just going to line it up on that line. And I've got a craft knife here. This one is Scotch, and I'm just going to go slow and steady. I'm not going to put too much pressure on that chipboard. Just going to go easy like that, and then it will cut cleanly. And this is actually kind of a dull blade. I should probably snap it off and get a fresh one, but I'm not going to. And then we're going to cut the bottom off, and that's it. So now I've got the two spines, but I'm just literally just going to make one set. I guess I could go ahead and make both of them, couldn't I? Should I? I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to make the one, the one size right now, which is no big deal. So, okay, so I've got the two front cover, back cover, and the spine, right? So now what I need is, this is bookbinding tape. You could use, if you don't have bookbinding tape, you could use Tyvek. You could use fabric. This isn't the only thing that can be used to make these and to make them sturdy. And we use this type of thing in between so that the paper doesn't rip or that the covers don't rip off. This is stuff that doesn't rip. So you have to use a material that will be sturdy like that. And I don't use really thick cardstock for my covers. I actually just use copy paper, and I will show you that in just a second. I just use copy paper to cover my covers, and it works just fine. It doesn't have to be super thick. I tend to throw my albums around quite a bit, and they hold up just fine. So this is the size that we're making, by the way. I don't know if I said that already. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to take and cut two pieces that are approximately 12 inches. I'm just going to use the edge of my cutting mat here, that are approximately 12 inches long, and then I'm going to cut two pieces that are approximately 10 inches long. So there's the two 12s. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just so you know. But again, you can use fabric, you can use Tyvek, you know, the envelopes, the white envelopes. I'm sure they probably come in a different color. But I have like a big roll of Tyvek that I bought, I mean, years and years and years ago. Of course, it's still going strong for just one person, but you can usually find an envelope or something that's Tyvek somewhere. I did have one sitting there. I still do. Hang on. Let me get it. Underneath a bunch of stuff. This is a Tyvek envelope. I know it sounds like I'm saying it funny. Tyvek. And it's just stuff that doesn't tear. Right? So, if you're lucky enough to get something shipped to you in a tie-back envelope, then you've got a free strip for bookbinding. So here's what I'm going to do. Actually, I think, no, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to remove the tape backing off of one. And I'm going to try to lay this down. I don't have very good luck of getting it to unstick from my fingers. So I'm going to try. Let go. No, it's okay. Okay, there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. So then I'm going to take my spine piece and I'm going to try to center it top to bottom, and I'm going to overlap at least a ½ inch into the center of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It really doesn't, by any means. So I'm going to press that down just like that. And then I am going to take a cover and I'm going to put about ¼ inch between this piece and this piece. So I'm going to try to eyeball it, and it's okay if it's not. I should turn this so I can see a little bit better. And it's okay if it's not perfect. That way I can hold it. I usually put a piece of like ¼ inch tape there, so it's like a guide, so you could do that as well. But it's about ¼ inch. Just like that. Okay, so then I'm going to take another piece, the 12-inch piece, I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to attach this to the spine piece, hopefully. Well, just trying to get the backing off a little bit. So I'm going to turn it sideways again. I'm going to try to lay it down flat so that I can get come on, there we go. So I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to scooch it over onto there. And it's okay that it's not perfect. All right, then I'm going to take the next cover and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to try to guess as best I can, about ¼ inch. Lay it down flat. Okay, so then you just want to take these little pieces here, flip them up like this, and then I like to take a bone folder, and this is a Teflon bone folder, and just press that down really good. Flip it around and do the same on this side. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take these other pieces and I'm going to put them along the inside of the covers. Okay, so I'm going to take this, remove the backing, let me turn it this way, and I'm going to line it up. My camera stopped for a second and then I got you crooked. So I just lined it up, and I'm going to press it down. Actually, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to press it down before I do anything else. Just hold on. I'm going to take this. I'm going to do the other side. Flip it around. Same thing on this one. Press it down like that. Then I'm going to flip it over. Actually, let me do this. Ooh, that was awful, wasn't it? Then I'm going to flip it over. And I am going to burnish in between there. Really good. Just like that. Right? And it should be, those should be stuck together really, 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 really good. So now we've got the basic skeleton of our covers. Okay, the next step is I'm going to cover this entire backside with glue. Now you have options. You could use liquid glue. You could use like a, let me show you. You can use like a bookbinding adhesive. You could use Fabri-Tac. I'm going to use score tape, not score tape. This is scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive. This is a 6-inch roll. I'm going to use this because I use really thin paper. Let me show you. I'll grab a piece. I use coffee stained paper. This is 11 by 17. I think it's 20-pound copy weight paper. I coffee stain it, and then I lay it flat to dry, and then I use this to cover my album covers. So I'm just gonna find a cool one. It doesn't really matter. Most of it gets covered up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so it's super thin, so glue sometimes shows through. So this way, if I use this kind of tape, then it will stick 100% down. So that's why I use this, and I'll have it linked down below. And scrapbook.com, they do have the best deal on their 6-inch roses. I have had this for a while. I mean, this is probably my 3rd or 4th roll, maybe even more. It lasts for a really long time. So, and I love it. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to try to cover it like this. Just going to pull it out and lay it down on my cover. I can always trim off, oh, look how crooked I got. I can always trim off any overhang, and I can always add tape to the areas that, you just got to be careful not to cut your tie back right there. I can always add tape to like that area if I want to. So I'm going to do both edges. You can see it's really not that crucial, right? And I'm kind of picky, so me saying that is saying a lot, that it's not that crucial. I'm really picky about how things are done, and how, being precise about things. All right, so now I need to add a piece of tape in the middle there. But you do want to burnish double-sided adhesive. It's really important that you do that because it works. That's how it works, by pressure. So what size is this? I think this is 3/4. This is a 3/4 inch. You know, I have all the sizes, so I always joke about that, but it's true. I have all the sizes of tape. Do you need all the sizes of tape? No, you do not. But I have all the sizes. So I am going to fill in some of these little gaps here because I don't want that on the spine. So I'm just going to remove that tape for a second, and I'm going to grab a different size. Let's do 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch here. Put this back. And then I guess I'll do some here too. Why not? Again, it's not necessary, but if it makes you feel better, then you do that. Whoop. Wow. Did y'all see that? There we go. Boy, I am so out of practice. Recording, I'm so out of practice. It's ridiculous. Whoa. I'm struggling. I am struggling. Here, let me do it like this. Let me burnish that. I need to remove that tape backing and put this back down over top and then put this down. Okay. Burnish that really quick. All right, so let me move this out of the way for a second so I can have a larger, flatter surface. And I'm gonna grab my paper. I'm going to so this is gonna barely fit, right? There's not gonna be a whole lot of overhang. So I want you to see that if you use the bigger spine piece, right? If you use this bigger one, it's still gonna fit. You could do all the pieces if you wanted to, right? It's still gonna fit all the way down because you really don't need that much overhang because you just need a little bit to fold over the edge, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say. Matter of fact, I might, no, I'm not going to. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove the tape. I think I'm just going to do the front cover, or one side here, one side at a time, just so I can really get it on there. So I'm going to actually hold the part that I took the sticky off of up in the air, and I am going to try to center this as best I can with the part that still has the backing on it. I have to try to tippy toe up over it. Like that. Push that down, and then I'm going to lift it up, and I'm going to remove the rest of this tape backing. Okay. So I'm going to lay this back down just like that. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to burnish. I don't know if you can tell. I don't know how well you can tell, but you can see where it just really stuck it down good. Like there, it's as smooth as it's going to get for the most part. All right, next, I'm going to flip it over and we're going to add tape. I'm going to use, let's see, 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. What am I going to use? I'm going to use not 3/4, I'm going to use 3/8. Oh, that one could probably do a 1/2. I'm going to use the 3/8 along the edges here. And I'm just kind of forcing it next to that piece of chipboard because we do actually want adhesive to touch the edge there, so that would be nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one. I'm going to do this one. I think I'm going to do a bigger piece along the side. The two sides. We'll see. And then I don't have to, but I think I'm going to. So instead of 3/8, I'm going to do 1/2 along these two sides. I'm going to burnish these down. Actually, let me peel that up because I overlapped a little. Wow. Burnish that down. Okay, we'll burnish these and then we'll trim the excess off and we'll wrap the edges. Alright, now I'm going to grab this back out. First I'm going to trim the extra paper off. Then I'm going to use this right angle tool and I'm going to put it on the corner there and I'm just going to trim the corners straight across. Just like that. Okay, I like to start with the long pieces, the two long sides, so I'm just kind of prep it. And you can see there's not a whole lot that's going to be folded over, but it's okay. It's going to be fine. So I'm going to remove the tape backing. And then I'm just going to start it by pressing it like that and then folding it over on itself. I hope you could see that. And then I'm going to do a little bit of burnishing just to make sure. And we'll do the same for this side. We'll burnish that edge, fold it over. So the first album that we're going to make in this album series is going to be a 2-page because I'm going to try really hard and not to make it overly complicated because it's going to be a Halloween album. The very first one, and since today is the day I'm filming this is actually the release day of the templates, so it's like October 15th or something like that. So we don't have a whole lot of time. So I want to go ahead and get this going, you know, and I don't want it to be too complicated. The first go around. So go ahead and get your, if you're making an album with me, go ahead and get your covers made for the 2-fin album. So you'll be raring to go when it's time to start adding pages and things. Okay, then let's do the same over here. Did I already prep that? Yeah, I think I did. Let's do the same over here. Over just like that, and then we're going to burnish. I like to burnish the edges too because it gives it a real crisp like look. Make sure I get these burnished really good. And then the next thing we're going to do, grab another sheet. And we're going to do the lining part. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take it and mark like the whole cover. Right? So I'm just going to mark it as if we were needing the whole cover, like, you know, we're not going to like bring it in a notch or anything. I'm going to trim off the extra because I'm going to put tape on it, but then I'm going to trim it again because I don't want the tape to, does that look right? Let's this. I don't want the tape to like seep out the side. It'll make sense in just a second. Or I hope. Sometimes I think I'm making sense and I may not be, y'all. I may not be. Okay, so I'm going to trim that piece off, and then I'm going to trim this piece off. Oh no. Let me mark it on this side too. So I'm going to use the diagonal on my board here, my cutting mat, so I keep it straight. Well, I didn't cut that very straight, did I? It's okay. Alright, so now I'm going to cover the entire thing with tape. So let's see, what would be the best way to do this? I'm gonna just go like this. Yep. So I'm gonna roll this out. Like this. And then I'm going to cover the tape with the paper. Again, if you want it to just use glue, you can. If you just want it to go around the edges, you can. And then I'm going to do it again. It's your album. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to flip it the other way and put the tape, put it on this side, put the paper on this side, because it's easier to fill in the middle with other sizes than it is to try to line it up right next to the last piece we just put down. That's all we're going to need of that. All right, and so that looks like it's about an inch. So I'm going to stick an inch on here. I'll trim that off. So I've got all my tape resources linked down below for you guys. I always have them in the description box so that you can find them easily. I've got, this is scrapbook.com, this is Cherry on Top. And then of course there's like Sue Quain and those are just the ones that I like, the companies I like to support. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut a 1/4 of an inch off of one side and 1/4 of an inch off of the other, and then it should fit perfect. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that very good. Let's start with the long side. Actually, no, I need to cut a little bit off of every side. Wow, I'm glad I got that. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. So I'm not going to cut 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to cut like 1/8 of an inch off of each side. I'm going to do the two short sides first. And then I'm going to try to do, I don't know how well I'm going to do here because I don't have a ruler long enough. try. Especially since I cut that so poorly the last time. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm just eyeballing it. There's not a measurement on the board on here for the diagonal 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to try. That's a little bit more of an 1/8 of an inch, isn't it? But that's okay. It's okay. It is okay. Now let's see if it'll fit on my covers. And it looks like it will. All right. All right. Okay, I had to change my battery really quick. I know this isn't the most exciting part of making an album, but it's a necessary part, right? We need to know how to make covers, and this is just one of many, 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 and you can make your covers any way you want to, you guys, any way you want to at all. So I'm going to remove the tape backing off of one of these sides here. Maybe try not to rip through the paper. Come on. Oh, I picked the side that was overlapping. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab the part that still has the backing on there, and that's what I'm going to lay on here to like center where I want my paper to be. And we are going to lay it down. Just like that. Okay, then I'm going to flip it back up, and I'm going to remove the backing for both of the other two pieces. And I'm going to be real careful, and I'm going to lay this down as straight as I can. Most of the time, this will get covered up anyway, like with, you know, mats that you're using in your album, like you would mat the cover most of the time. So you don't need to really worry so much about what the paper looks like under there, unless you're planning on not matting it. But I just like to use coffee stain paper. I don't know. Am I the only one that's weird like that? I might be. All right, I'm gonna burnish this down really quick. All right, so then I'm gonna gently just kind of like crack the spine a little bit. It's not really, or break the spine. I forget what the technical term is, but I'm not really doing either one of those things. We're just gonna gently make sure that it's going to fold and bend nicely. And thanks to that tape that we put on the spine pieces, it's not going to tear. It's going to be nice and sturdy. So there it is. There we have it. There is our completed mini album shell, basically, for us to decorate and add our pretty pages in. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and do the binding too. Might as well. Why not, right? We just might as well go ahead and do it. So the binding is actually on page 3. So the binding itself has the binding strips, which are these here, and then there's the mats for the binding. So the album that we're getting ready to make, I'm going to be using the coffee stained background design, so I'm going to use that. So I printed the page 3 onto cardstock. with the coffee stain background design on them, okay? And we're not going to be using this section, which would be the 4-page binding. We're just going to use this section. But I will go ahead and cut both of them out and show you how they work. And then I'll put the mats for them back in here into the workbook. Oh, my dryer just finished. Did you hear the boop, 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 boop? Okay. So what I'm going to do is, this is 80-pound white cardstock. That's what I usually use. I'm just going to trim it out all the way around. They're all the same. It's all the same height. So I'm just going to trim it all the way out. This is a Fiskars Precision paper trimmer. And it's my favorite. It's self-sharpening, and it is heavy. It's my favorite, and it does open all the way up. So in case you've never seen one before, it opens all the way up. And the only complaint people mostly have about it is A, it's heavy, and then there's this like area in between here where you don't know the exact measurements of something. But since my templates are measurement free, you don't have to measure, you don't have to worry about that area right there. So I am going to cut the mats away. And I want to cut these two pieces apart just real fast. There's one piece. Then there's the other. Alright, so I'm gonna set these aside. We'll have to use these at the end of the album because they are used to mat any white spaces on the fins. So I'll just show you, even though there's no white spaces. So let's say this is a white space and this was a white space. I just took a section, two of these pieces, left them together, scored them, and then attached them right there. So that's all they do. That's all they're for. Really easy, really simple. So for these, I'm going to score them, and then I'm going to ink them up. I'm so out of practice filming. I had to go downstairs and take care of something, and I left the camera recording, and now my battery's already flashing. Oh, goodness. I'm going to go ahead and score them both, but I'm not going to use both. I'm just going to be using the smaller piece, the one that has the 3 sections. There are 3 equal sections. This one has 3 sections, but it's 3 different sizes. So the middle section is a lot wider. So what you would do is, if you're using 4-page fin, you would put tape along the middle of the smaller section, and then you would just attach it right down in the middle. You can use the other score marks as guides, attach it down, and then you will have 4 fins. So I'm going to burnish. I'll go ahead and burnish it. All right, I'm going to flip it the other way, like that, right? Same with this one. So they would just literally, you would lay this on top, you would add your adhesive, lay that on top, and then you would have 4 fins. So you see where this side's white? So if you attach pages to this side, they're still going to be white. So you would need to mat it if you wanted a clean, smooth, you know, transition, I guess. And then on this side, if you attach pages to this side of the fin, it's going to cover that up. So you would want to mat that as well. So not always. You don't always add pages on both sides, but you might. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add tape down the middle here before I do my inking, because I find it works better that way, because sometimes the tape doesn't like to stick to the ink. I wonder if I could use, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch. Let me see if that'll fit. The 3/8 inch is slightly small, but the 1/2 inch is usually too big. No, it's right on the money. So I'm going to just go right down the center here. And burnish. And then I'm going to take, I'm using the walnut stain. That's my favorite, my current favorite, the Distress Oxide Walnut Stain. I'm going to ink all the outer edges, and then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to ink this side as well, because you might see that in the finished product, and you want a finished looking product when you're done. Even though it's handmade, you still want it to be, you know, nice and finished. So I'm going to keep doing this until my camera dies, and then I will change the battery. Okay, you guys, hang on. I'm gonna have to get a new battery. I mean, I have 3 batteries for this camera, and none of them will hold a charge very long. I mean, last time was my fault because I left it running for no reason at all. But I'm gonna have to get another battery. You can wear them out. I understand, you can wear them out. So I have inked this side and this side, just the edges of this side, and it will fit perfectly on your spine piece. You want to leave about 1/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to take the tape backing off, but I'm also going to use some liquid glue as well. And this is, in this tube here, this little bottle, I've got this glue in it currently. I used to use, do I have any? I don't think I have it right here. Oh, here's a bottle. The art glitter glue, but I have so much trouble with art glitter glue here in my area. I don't know if it's a me thing or if it's the time of year thing or what, but I've been using the bookbinding glue. It's not just bookbinding glue, it's basically just white glue, but anyway, that's what I've been using. And I love the art glitter glue, but I just started struggling with it. I really did. So maybe I need to give it another shot. Okay, so I just kind of smooth that out, and then you don't have to do that part. I just like to have a little bit of extra, because adhesive is very subjective to your environment. Your environment will affect it. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm covering my bases, you know. Try not to get adhesive on your edge of your cover, because you want to be able to ink that later. I'm going to smush that down, and there's a little bit that oozed out. I'm going to smush it down this way. Okay, I'm going to flip it this way. I'm going to smoosh. I'm going to flip it this way and smoosh. So I'm not really worried about that being messed up looking, like messy, because again, I will be matting this at some point, so it'll be hidden completely, hopefully. All right, so now I've got my 2 fins in here to add my pages to, right? Super simple, super easy. And so again, if you were doing the 4-page, so this is the 4-page, you would add the 2-page strip, which was what this part is, on top of the 4-page strip. So this is what we just attached to the cover, this right here. So if you were doing the 4 pages, you would do the big one first and then the second one, and then the small one. Hope that makes sense. It's super easy, super simple. But okay, you guys, I hope you got something out of this video. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, and I hope that you guys bear with me for just a little while. It's like I forget what I'm doing. I forget how to do what I'm doing. Make sure that you give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Make sure that you leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts, and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. That would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to hanging out with you next time. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.